So right now I'm in pedal assist 3, gear 5. I'm barely putting any effort in, cruising 16 miles an hour. This is definitely the zone for me. I know my wife is about the same settings also on her step-through Pathfinder. We could ride like this all day till it runs out of battery. I already have about 16 miles on this battery charge, but the bike still feels like it has perfect full power. It has 51.1 volts still on the meter. So let's go down this path. This is a fun little path. It is actually bumpier than it looks. Like there's a bump right here that you might not be able to see how bumpy it is on camera. That's a very big dip. This is one right here is a little jarring sometimes. But I can feel that suspension seat post, which, like I said in part 1, I thought was a little bit of a gimmick, but they really do work well. There's not very many full suspension bikes out there in this price range. Beecool has them, but I do like the feel of a hardtail, and having the suspension seat post takes care of all this little chop and these rocks that I'm running over and these stutter bumps you guys can't see. Maybe you can hear in my voice, but my back's not feeling it, and I don't have the best back. Like that was a big bump right there, and the suspension took it really well. The front especially too. This is a hydraulic fork, like I mentioned before, which is a lot different than their other model with the spring fork. So some of these features do, with the integrated battery and everything, it does add to the price a little bit, but I think it's worth it. We got a big ditch coming up here that I think I want to stop in the bottom, and let's just do throttle only and see how the bike pulls out of it when I'm 200 pounds. Now I'm just using throttle, no pedaling, and it's climbing right up 10 miles an hour, 9, 7, back up to 10, just like that. So I'll resume pedaling now. So it pulled my 200-pound bottom right up that hill like it was nothing. No problem at all. So if you want to see what this will do in some rougher, let's go this way. And I'm going to turn the bike down because it's going plenty fast. These are huge dips, and I'm just going to sit down and take them nice and easy. No problem. Once you get used to the bike, you know, maybe you're, first 20 minutes on it and you start to feel comfortable, you'll be able to go through stuff like that. As long as you got a little bit of balance. These fat tires, they handle so well. These are big dips. This dirt is very silty. It's actually worse than sand because it'll just move your tire over when you don't expect it. On my other mountain bike, it has the skinny, only 2 inches wide tires. Oh, took that easily. Look at this dip. This is nasty. And then the fork just goes right in. When the pedal assist is on a lower setting like 1, 2, and 3, you barely turn the pedals and it kicks in right away. So going through that dip is no problem. As soon as I just started to pedal to get out of it, it kicked in. So you don't have to worry, it'll just kick right in for you. And this trail's a lot rougher than the one we started on. I know it doesn't show on the video because I've watched them back before. This is very bumpy. I couldn't imagine riding this on my other bike that has no suspension at all. And this is just going through the powder. All these little holes you see everywhere is from horses. So you can imagine how bumpy that would be on a regular bike. But this fat tire bike takes it like nothing. There is miles and miles of trails out here in Arizona. Where I live out in Whitman, We have this place that we can ride to from here. You could literally go all the way to Wickenburg with a full charge, the back way through the desert. My wife and I haven't tried it yet, but we will, and we'll try to film that ride, or at least pieces of it. It will take a couple of hours to get there. It is pretty far. So I'm hoping we'll have enough battery to get back. If not, we'll have to call the kids to come pick us up in the pickup truck. So we better have them on call, right? Let's take this trail back. See, through this soft, silty dirt, it would be easy to slip out on normally. The tires just have no hint of slip. My wife has said the same thing. She doesn't have as much bicycle experience or like motorcycle racing and stuff like I do. So even for her, she feels so confident. It doesn't matter what speed I go. She keeps right up, and it makes me feel like I'm not doing enough, actually. Since the bike works so well, she's able to just keep up like it's nothing. And she uses the same pedal assist settings. I know you guys are hearing a little squeaking, but this is pretty dusty out here. So that dirt will get in your brakes. But it comes right out after a couple miles. Or it gets burnt off when you use your brakes. So I'm literally not using much effort. And again, I don't know if you can tell, these trails, this is a lot of powder dirt. It's at least 2-3 inches thick. Especially over in this area, it's real bad. So let's go ahead and head back. I think you guys got the gist. Those are huge. And I could feel that suspension seat post again. I know I've talked about it a lot, but I was a little worried, like, you know, is that seat post going to be enough for me? Because I do like to get a little crazier, like that big old ditch we drove down in earlier. I like to go jump off of that thing as fast as I can get the bike going and go up the other side like I'm on a motorcycle or something. It takes it great. So let's see, why don't we head back? We won't do any pedaling. We'll just use the throttle. And then I'll wait till there. I just barely snapped the throttle just a little bit to get up the hill. It takes a minute to get used to the throttle if you've never used one before. You really don't need to put your whole hand on it. You only need a couple fingers. Keep the rest of your palm on the grip for safety. And then if you just open your hand, you hear that snapping noise. That was the throttle shutting off. And then I give it throttle again when I want. Still holding the grip tight. So it's a very smooth power delivery. You don't have to worry about, if you're a beginner or novice, of it feeling a little too out of control or you haven't ridden a bike in a lot of years. Super smooth. I'm barely giving any throttle. It's doing 20 miles an hour. And I've already had some on 16 miles on this battery right now, 16.2. And it still feels like it's got a lot of power left. And I said in the other video, or if I did, my wife and I went on a 30-mile ride with pedal assist 5. We were going for distance and speed, trying to get a really good workout. And when we came back, she still had 40% of her battery left. I was in the 30s since I'm heavier. Obviously, the bike then uses more power with the extra weight. But I can't imagine, I mean, I think the bike would do 50 miles no problem, maybe more. I think their range of the 40 to 65, whatever it says in on their thing, is pretty accurate. So right now I'm a little bit uphill. It's doing 24 miles an hour. And I know once I get up here a little farther there, we're almost hit 25. No effort at all. Gives you a second to take a break if you need a break from pedaling. 24 all day long, that's plenty fast enough. I don't think people are buying these bikes to drag race them. I know a lot of reviewers will tell you what the 0 to 30 is and that kind of stuff. And that's great. I've watched plenty of them. There's plenty of good videos out there for that. So we'll shy away from that since several people are already doing it. If you are worried about just the speed, you know, it's probably not the fastest bike out there, but it's definitely not the slowest. So I got just a slight downhill, hit over 25. I haven't even pedaled for a little while, 26. So this thing works great. I'm hoping one of these days real soon we can get people out here to be able to test these bikes for free. I will try to do reviews for other bicycles, see if anyone wants to jump on board with that idea. And hopefully anybody that's in the area or even a neighboring state could come out here and camp out and test the bikes and see if they want to buy one. I know for my wife and I, we're in our low 50s, and these have been a real nice addition to just riding our Polaris Razor around, which is great, but I don't get any exercise in that thing. And we are able to go really long distances and enjoy our rides with the bicycles and be ground level with seeing all the flowers on the bushes and little animals running around where we live. You end up out here in the desert and you see rabbits and prairie dogs and deers and, you know, stuff like that. So it's pretty cool. So here's some of these. Here's another one of these trails that are just out by my house. I'm on pedal assist 1, gear 2. Just barely. I'm going to go to gear 1 even, make it easier. Just going super slow, 6 miles an hour. And you can turn these things really tight without only minimal effort, just to make sure you hold your balance. So they're a good time. You guys check it out. If you haven't seen part 1, look at that so you can see the bike, see the features, understand it. Then hit that like button and subscribe. I'd really appreciate it if you like the video. And if you don't like the video, send me a comment. Tell me what I could do better. I'm new at this. So hopefully we can make these videos a lot better.